What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So yesterday was a great day for Social Security, and it's been a long time since we've had good news to really share about Social Security. Sometimes we see different things happening. We see different politicians pushing for certain legislation, but we don't get it. We don't see it cross the finish line. And we actually saw something cross the finish line yesterday, and hopefully we will see more wins when it comes to Social Security. The next thing on the list is going to be eliminating taxes for people receiving Social Security benefits. That's the hope. We hope to see them eliminate taxes on people receiving Social Security, but that's one of those deals we're going to have to wait and see what politicians do. We've heard promises. President Trump has made a promise. We'll have to see if he has any power to get that through Congress. But yesterday, we saw the Social Security Fairness Act get signed off by the president, so it's now official. And I want to talk a little bit about that, so we're going to talk about that on this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video. And if you're watching this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. And also, if you are not following me on Blue Sky, follow me on Blue Sky. And I'm going to start there, actually. I want to show you guys something. I talked about this yesterday. And by the way, we had a really good live stream yesterday. We had over 4,000 people watching the signing ceremony. And so that's good. I'm glad that you guys are coming. You guys are watching. So this journey is just starting when it comes to the Social Security Fairness Act. There's a lot that we're going to have to, a lot of information that's going to be coming out in the very near future. And so you're going to want to stay tuned. But let's go over to Blue Sky. I just want to show you this really quickly. I've had some people ask me about this. So this is my Blue Sky account, and what you want to do, and I talked about a feed. I said I have a feed. You guys can follow this feed, and it talks about Social Security, Social Security Fairness Act. And so what you do is just come over to Blue Sky, and if you're not signed up, it's easy. Just type in bluesky.com or just type in Blue Sky and it'll come up, and then you can just sign up for this. It's much like Twitter. As you can see, it's pretty much the same format, and this is the former head of Twitter before he sold it to Elon Musk. He is running this now. But what I like about it is it has a lot of different features that you're not going to see on Twitter or X. And so one of the things I like is feeds. And so if you're on my profile, and first thing you want to do is follow me on the profile. And then you can look here, it says feeds. If you click on feeds, it takes you to the two feeds that I've created. Now, I created the Social Security Fairness feed. That is the one where you're going to get the information about Social Security Fairness, and I'm going to show you guys that right now. And then I have Life After Work, and this is more travel related. When I start traveling, I'm going to post a little bit more over there. But this is not just me posting. So if you click on the Social Security Fairness, it's going to take you over to anything that's related to the Social Security Fairness Act. And so as I stated, we're going to start getting a lot more information coming in. This is a great resource. All you need to do is sign up for Blue Sky if you haven't signed up already. Follow this feed. You can follow the feed. I want you guys to follow me. That would be great. But you can also just follow the feed and get information. And so this was from yesterday. So we already have a video up of the signing ceremony. We have some pictures here. And then we have this information here. And this is ABC News says higher Social Security payments coming for millions of people from bill that Biden is signing. And then you have some pictures here. Susan Collins there standing in the middle, and more pictures, the same picture actually. And then you have another picture here. And so you're going to get information, the latest information about the Social Security Fairness Act and when they're going to start implementing this bill. And then here's my video here. So anything that's Social Security, the Social Security Fairness Act, anything that's related to weapon GPO is going to be in this feed. And so it will be a valuable resource in the future. So if you do qualify for if you fall into this weapon and GPO category, this is definitely going to benefit you. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about what's next as far as what we're anticipating. Okay, now we don't know the exact details yet, but I put this illustration together I believe it was last month, and so I want to talk about it. because this now is official. Before, when I was talking about it, wasn't official. It had passed the House. It hadn't passed the Senate yet. We were anticipating that the Senate would pass it, but it hadn't passed. And so I was talking a little bit about what the Social Security Fairness Act looks like when we're looking at real numbers, right? The money that could be coming in, and then also how much it's going to cost and things like that, and what percentage. So let's go over this really quickly. So when it comes to the Social Security Fairness Act, when it comes to the elimination of weapon GPO, that will impact roughly 2.8 million beneficiaries, current beneficiaries. And that comes to about 4.5% of all beneficiaries. Okay, now, so it's not a large number, but it's still a big enough number. This is this increase for those individuals is a big deal. And just like I stated yesterday, I did a live stream. I had 4,000. I've never had 4,000 people in a live stream before on any of the topics that I talked about. There's obviously interest in this, a lot of interest, and there are a lot of people that are going to benefit from this. Okay, so it would be retroactive. Now, this is important, and the wording here is a little. They didn't use the best wording, but it says, and this is coming from HR 82. This is coming from the actual bill. It said it will be retroactive to all payments after December of 2023. So that means January of 2024 until they start sending out those checks. Okay, so, and we heard yesterday President Biden said it will be a lump sum payment. Okay, so that is to be expected. Now, a lump sum payment. And so what does that mean on average? Well, on average, that annual increase will be about $7,300. Now, we're looking at, there's realistically 3 different categories. Okay, that's kind of how I'm putting this out there. So you have GPO and you have WEP. When it comes to WEP, that we're talking about one category of people. We're talking about people who worked, they paid into a pension, and then they also worked and they paid into Social Security. So they paid into FICA. They qualify for FICA because they have the 40 quarters that are needed, and so they can collect Social Security benefits, and they're also collecting a pension. So that is WEP. That's one category of people. The second category will be survivors. So people who, let's say you're in a situation where you worked, you paid into a pension, but you never paid into Social Security, or you never earned those 40 credits. And so you don't qualify for Social Security, but you're married and your spouse worked and they paid into FICA. And so now you've outlived your spouse, so now you are eligible for survivor benefits. Well, in the past, you had the government pension offset, you had GPO. GPO was in the middle of that, so they would look at how much you were bringing in your pension, and then they would reduce that by 2/3 when it comes to your Social Security or your survivor benefits. Well, now they've done away with GPO, so now you'll be able to receive your survivor benefits in full. And the other category of people would be spousal benefits. So people who, let's say you work in the same situation, you work, you pay into a pension, you never pay into Social Security, you don't earn enough credits to Social Security to start collecting those benefits, but you're married to someone who's paid into FICA, and they qualify for, and when they retire, they qualify for Social Security benefits. Now you qualify for spousal benefits, but GPO was in the middle of that before, and they were reducing your benefits based on how much you were bringing in your pension. So now you're going to be able to receive the full amount. So on average, looking at all those different categories, on average, that's about $7,300, okay? Now, when it comes to survivor benefits, and in the future, I will show you some different numbers, but right now, it looks like survivor benefits, they're going to receive the most, on average, the most back. But when it comes down to it, when you're averaging everything, it's going to be about $7,300. And so what that means is retroactive, for a lot of people, they're going to be getting a check in the amount of around $7,000 or more or less, more or less, because it's going to be the average. And I'm sure that's going to really be able to benefit those people who are able to receive that. Now, the cost of this, and this is another thing that is you hear different people talking about this, and people that are pro the elimination of weapons GPO, they'll talk about it a different way. And people who are against this, the elimination of weapons GPO, they're going to say, yeah, it's going to cost $200 billion, but they're not going to tell you that's over 10 years. Okay, and that's important. That's important to note that it's over 10 years. So it's $195 billion, around $195 billion over 10 years. And will this expedite the trust funds being depleted? Yes, it will, by about 6 months. But we are in a situation right now, and this is important, and I really want to talk about this every time I talk about the elimination of weapons GPO and the fact that it will expedite the trust fund. We're in a situation right now where Social Security needs to be reformed. We have 2 trust funds. They are slowly being depleted. In about 8 years, they're going to be completely depleted, and we're going to be looking at a reduction in benefits of about 23%. That is the current state that we're in. And you eliminate weapon GPO, okay, that will expedite it by about 6 months, but we still need to address that problem, because let's say you didn't eliminate weapon GPO and the trust funds won't be expedited by about 6 months. Guess what? You're still going to need to reform Social Security, because that's only going to buy you 6 more months, and we're going to be all in a situation where you're going to see that reduced benefit. And so it's important, very important, that Congress and the president start talking about reforming Social Security. And so we've heard some politicians talk about it. We heard some politicians talk about cutting Social Security. That's the way they want to reform Social Security. We've heard some politicians talking about expanding Social Security, so providing increases across the board for everyone receiving Social Security benefits and raising the cap. That's what you hear a lot of. So raising the cap. Right now the cap is in 2025, it's $176,100. So if you make more than that, you no longer have to contribute to FICA. So you only contribute to FICA up until that point. And so if you make $300,000 a year, then anything over $176,100, you no longer have to contribute to FICA. So they're talking about raising that. If you raise that cap, you're able to collect more revenue for Social Security. That will help the trust funds, and that will prolong so we won't be looking at an expiration date of eight years. It could be, we could move it up to 15 years or even higher, depending on how, what the cutoff is. And so this is something that needs to happen, regardless of what happens with weapon GPO, the elimination, and how much that's going to cost. Regardless of that, you still need to reform Social Security. And so that should be what's being talked about. And earlier in this video, I was talking about a tax, eliminating taxes on people receiving Social Security benefits. Guess what? That expedites the depletion of the trust fund as well. And I think it's like 2 or 3 years. So realistically, if we're looking at the numbers here, and let's say it's 8 or 9 years, that's when the trust funds will be completely depleted. Well, let's look at it now. Let's look at this. Let's say it's 9 years, because that's what most of the economists that are talking about this, they're saying it's going to be about 9 years. So currently it's about 9 years. Now they've eliminated weapon GPO. We've expedited the trust fund depletion by 6 months. So now we're at around 8 years, 8.5 years. Then we have President Trump talking about waiving taxes for people receiving Social Security benefits. That's going to expedite the depletion of the trust fund by about 2 or 3 years. Let's just take 2 years. So if we take 2 years, now we're looking at a situation where it's like, 5.5 years, 6 years? So we have to reform Social Security. That should be on the top of these Congress people. They're going out and talking about all this stuff. They want to do this, they want to do that. At the top of the list, Social Security reform should be there. Unfortunately, it's not. But hopefully, we will have some politicians that figure out, they already know. They know this. The problem with reforming Social Security is these politicians are going to look very bad because they're going to have to raise taxes. Bottom line, they're going to have to do it. Either you're raising the cap. If you raise a cap, that's raising taxes on people making over $176,100. You're going to have to do that. Or you're going to have to raise taxes on the payroll contribution. So right now, people are contributing 6.2%. Their employer matches at 6.2%. You're going to have to raise that from 6.2% to maybe 7.2% or 8.2%. And politicians don't want to do that. They don't want to raise taxes. But you're going to have to face the reality here. And I think I've talked about this, and I will continue to say this. I think if you look the American people in the eye and say, look, this is the situation that we're in when it comes to Social Security. Right now, we're not pulling in enough revenue, and we have trust funds that have money. So we have about $2.7 trillion in trust funds. That money is slowly being depleted because we're paying out benefits at 100%. So the money that comes in through the payroll contribution is going to the trust funds and then paying out benefits, but it's not enough to pay at 100%. And so if you look the American people in the eye and say, look, we need a little bit more revenue. And the only way that we can do this, or the most feasible way to do this, is by raising the payroll contribution up by 1% or up by 2%. We're not talking about a lot. Most people aren't going to really feel that. But if you tell them, look, this will guarantee that when you retire, you'll be able to receive your Social Security benefits at 100%. I think most people would buy into that, because the alternative is, well, we can raise the full retirement age, we can do this, we can do that, and that still won't be enough, and they might have to raise the FICA contribution anyway. And so I think if you gave people a choice, raise the FICA contribution from 6.2% to 8.2%, or raise the full retirement age from 67 to 70, most people would say raise that FICA from 6.2% to 8.2%. And don't raise, because most people, they want to have the ability to retire at 67. And right now, they don't have that. Well, depending on when you were born, anybody born after 1960, you're not going to have that opportunity to retire at 67 and receive your full benefits. That's the key there. You can retire at 62, but you're going to get about a, 35% decrease in your benefits. And so if you wait until 67, you'll get your full benefits. And if you go over, if you wait until you're 70 right now, the way it currently stands, if you wait until you're 70, you'll get the plus up. So you'll get even more. So that's where we are right now. I just wanted to give you guys a quick little update. And this is good news. I'm very, very happy about this. The fact that it was signed off now by the president, and now we can start looking at the logistics and what's next and when can they roll this out. And I said this in a live stream yesterday. I do have some concern. It's coming at a bad time. It's coming at a bad time because we have a transition happening. So transitioning from one president to the next, we're going to have new administration coming in. We're going to have a new Social Security commissioner. So we're going to have new people coming in, and it's going to be hard for them to get this moving right away. And if they don't prioritize this, then it could take a while for this to happen. But I will make sure, as I stated, I will make sure to let you guys know as soon as information comes out from the Social Security Administration, or as soon as we start hearing different possibilities, I will let you guys know what's going on, when the checks are going to be coming out, and all of that. So I also want to do one more thing. I want to give a shout out. And this, someone sent me an email yesterday, and I just started following this Facebook group. And so I want to show you the Facebook group real quick. And so what I encourage you to do, I will have, I'll have a link in the comment section. It'll be pinned at the very top. I'll have the Blue Sky, so you can follow me on Blue Sky. I'll also have a link to this Facebook group. And I did join the group, but I joined under another account. So I have like a business account on Facebook, and then I have another account. I don't get on Facebook that much, but I will start getting on a little bit more nonetheless. So if you search National Web and GPO Repeal Movement Facebook, click on this. And Cindy is the one that sent me an email about this, and she wanted me to share this. So I said, yeah, sure, I'll share this. We all need to pull together when it comes to this, because hopefully it will be a smooth transition, and we'll, this will all happen fast, but there's no guarantee. So this is the Facebook group here, and you can go ahead and sign up for the Facebook group, and you see on here they have a lot of information, pictures, and all that stuff. And so this is another great resource. And so I encourage you to go over there and sign up for this group. Okay, so that's really all that I have. I don't have any more to share with you guys today, but I will be back on tomorrow, so make sure you subscribe, hit that little bell notification, follow me on Blue Sky, go over to this Facebook group, follow the Facebook group, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.